Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. Na, 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 na. Oh, oh. Talk with Ruby. We're bringing you together. Talks with Ruby. We're uplifting each other. Oh, talks with Ruby. Bringing your discussions alive.
If you trust your body, things will work for you. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to trust my body so that I don't reject my implants at the moment. That's what, because you can reject them even up to like 4 years after having them. But I did also think it's like a mindset thing. I think I need to have a relationship with them. Do you know what I mean?
That's interesting.
It's all like psychological, isn't it?
So psychologically, yeah, getting used to them, knowing that they are a part of you now. Is that where you're coming from?
Yeah.
Okay. You've got less chance of having breast cancer or getting breast cancer if you breastfeed your children.
That is actually true.
This one's actually true.
This one's actually true.
So I've always looked at you on social media and thought, oh my God, I absolutely admire everything that you're doing to turn your challenging journey from having breast cancer into something positive. Now, you always seem very upbeat and wanting to, go into different things. You're ambassador for your Black Women's Rising and your Know Your Lemons as well. So yeah, if you could let us know if there's anything else that you've done that you're really proud of, that has helped raise awareness for breast cancer. I did see you with your Primark campaign. So could you let everybody know about that, please?
So
I've only got a couple more myths, but I really want to clear these things up because you can't even trust going on Google these days and knowing whether something's true or not.
Dr. Google's the worst place to go.
Do you know what I mean?
To go.
Do you know what I mean? And different websites tell you different things. So that's why we've got to clear up these myths, guys. So I hope you still got your notepads. Okay, so another one that I've heard over the years is you've got less chance of having breast cancer or getting breast cancer if you breastfeed your children.
That is actually true.
This one's actually true.
This one's actually true.
Fantastic.
And that is because of the dense breast argument. So this is something that we're trying to campaign for. So obviously, I've had breast cancer under 40. I've shown you that there's a lot of women that are younger than us that are getting breast cancer. And I think that's been, within our community, that's been highlighted a lot this year. Do you know what I mean? Like women that are 26, under 30 and things like that. So obviously when we're younger, just like how as women are, we're perky and then we droop over time.
Over the years,
so when you're thinking about mammograms and mammogram imaging, when we're older, that's why the breast screening age is the age that it is. It's nothing to do with wanting to shy you away from the age group or not saying that other women get it younger. It's just because the denseness of the breast, when you look under a mammogram, when women are that age group and older, it's less dense, so it's easier to see tumours and things like that.
Really?
So you can, like for me, my breast cancer was still found under a mammogram and with a scan. You can still do it, it's just harder to look. And then obviously when you're younger, you've got your milk ducts and things like that. So then sometimes presentation, you're more likely to have cysts, mastitis and things like that during breastfeeding. So breastfeeding also helps to just loosen
everything.
Yeah, so that when you get older, it's easier to see. But it doesn't mean that if you have an issue or you feel something or it doesn't feel right, anything leaks. Even if you're in pregnancy, I've had 3 friends that have had breast cancer in pregnancy. So
really?
Because it can happen. Do you remember your hormones are elevated?
True.
Why do you not think that, it's very rare, but it happens, do you know?
Yeah.
So it's a case of all sex, it doesn't matter what stage you're at to check them. It doesn't matter how old you are. Like I always say, to encourage girls from as soon as they start their periods, if you make them familiar with checking themselves, then it becomes as natural as brushing your teeth, isn't it? And that's the stage that we want to get to, especially in our community. I think it's like, is it like 43% of women don't check themselves? And it's just, you know what I mean? It's getting dangerous now Because then if you're not checking yourselves regularly, how are you not going to know when something feels different?
Yeah.
You can't just feel it there one day and then be like, oh, I found a lump. But that lump could have been there
It could have
for
been
a
there
while.
from months ago, and because you're not checking, then you know you're not detecting anything.
And also, it
different.
could be a normal, healthy lump too. So then, if you don't know what your normal is,
Yeah.
then you know what I mean.
How do
then
you know what's new
How
and
do you
different?
how do you not know you're abnormal? You know.
I mean, okay, so we're speaking about, now that we're talking on the subject of checking, how often is it that you should be checking your boobs? We're
always
talking
say-
men and women now.
Once a month, without fail.
Okay,
Set a
okay.
date in your calendar. If you
Yeah.
can do it on or around the same time every month. I think with women, especially women with their cycles, if you can do it before and then after, because then at least, you know, you have to remember, you know, when you due on, you get more pain, things like that. You get the PMS feelings. So I think if you can check around that time, you do feel more lumps and bumps around that time.
Yeah.
And then to check it around then and then to check it afterwards. I'd say like beginning of the month, mid-month. Do you know what I
then end
mean?
of the
Yeah,
month,
but
okay.
monthly, if you can just do it once a month is enough to save your life if you needed to.
No, that's amazing, guys.
Yeah, and-
Notebooks, taking notes,
And you
make
have
sure,
to and
I think,
pay attention and your lymph nodes, your armpits, because for me,
Yes.
I didn't find a lump. Like when I got diagnosed, I didn't have a lump that I went to query. Cancer found me. It was
Cancer
the other
found
way,
you.
the other way around, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to remember, a lot of people do find lumps, or so, but there's like 12 visual signs of breast cancer. So it's not just a lump. People just assume it's a lump in the breast or in the armpit. It's not. It can be a sunken nipple, leaking fluid, shape, difference in shape, size, anything, pain here,
Yeah.
collarbone, down to your rib cage, anything that does not feel right round there, get it looked at.
yeah, because I'm glad that you highlighted that it isn't just a lump, because I had a moment last year, and I had a bit of a leaky boob, just a
Yeah.
little bit of a leaky boob, and I did think that is strange. I'd never experienced anything where I'd seen fluid come from my breast when I was not breastfeeding.
Unless you had children,
Yeah, unless I had children, I had not experienced that. So I was scared, and I was on Google. I was with my partner, looking this and that. And, you know, and you're just thinking, okay, I'm just going to make a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, you have to.
Because I looked at my age. I looked at the fact that there's cancer history in my family. My dad passed away at 47, 4 years older than I am now, from cancer that he didn't know he had. But that's another conversation. So I was looking at all those things, and I panicked. I went into panic mode completely. And I said to my partner, I said, right, I'm going to make a doctor's appointment. Let's just go to the doctor.
But at least you
And he came
panicked
with
yourself
me,
to the
and I
doctor,
did-
because
yeah.
people panic themselves and then, you know, and
Yeah.
even with a lot of women, like some of the women that I've met, a lot of women, it's their partners that find their lumps and stuff more than they do. A lot of them, might find it in the shower and stuff, but sometimes it's their partners that notice
Yeah.
before they do.
Because they're familiar with your body,
Yeah,
aren't they? And
yeah.
they'll know if something doesn't look right or feel right,
Yeah.
because they're looking at
And
it
they'll say, "Oh,
from
yeah,
a
what's
different
this?"
angle
Yeah.
than you are. You know, because we wash our bodies, we cream up ourselves and this and that, but it's when they're looking at you and they're feeling different parts of your body, they can detect things a
Yeah.
little bit differently. Because a lot of the time we're getting ready, we're in a rush. We're not really
Yeah.
paying attention. I mean, I check my boobs, like you said, when you're on, you know, and it's that time of the month, your boobs feel differently anyway. So I check them every day when I'm on, because they get sore.
Yeah.
And so I just like to feel them just for any changes. My armpits actually kill sometimes when it's my time of the
Yeah.
month, because I can feel that.
Because your lymphs are it's just swollen.
Up and everything. So I do check them very regularly at that time of the month anyway. But then there are other times when they go back to normal and I think, oh, let me just check. And especially as well, if I've been wearing new bras. I don't know what it is, but when I wear new bras, sometimes it takes me a while, depending on where they're from.
But
Takes
it's just like shoes, though. It takes you a while to break into them.
There
and
you
it's the
go,
same
there you
thing.
go. And then I
but
check
that's
them
like
again then.
another myth that pops up, where people think that underwire bras give you breast cancer. Like some people think underwire bras give you breast cancer. That is not.
And that's not true.
It's not the case. And putting your phone or money down in your chest, that can give you. No, that's not the case. Do you know what I mean? It's all inside, you know, on the inside. But visual signs. There's like 12 visual signs: rashes, leaking fluids. Do you know what I mean? Changes in shape, sunken nipples, all different
Sunken
stuff.
nipples
Yeah,
I've heard about.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never experienced that, but yeah, it's just the leaky boob thing, and obviously it turned out to be nothing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it made me so aware,
Yeah.
like that anything can happen at any time, and you've just got to be ready.
Yeah.
You've got to be ready.
And you have to remember, like, I think for me as well, learning, like, obviously from being in this department now, I've learned more about it. Learning that breast cancer is an umbrella term was something new. Like, from how it's advertised, you just hear breast cancer.
Yeah.
But then to know then that it's an umbrella term, there's X amount of types of invasive, DCIS, triple negative, which is what I had, her positive.
Wow.
And, you know, there's all the different types. But then also, I remember when I was going to the breast clinic for my appointments, and I'd met a lady in the waiting room, and she, like, you know, like, you do, or what you here for? And I said, so what I'm here for? And she went, oh, you're really lucky that you've got breast cancer. And I went, why? And she went, I've got many, I don't even know what the name was. And she was like, it's a type of breast disease.
Yeah.
And then, but the breast disease that she showed me, and all here was like all eaten out, like necrosis, you know, like when women get necrosis. Yeah. And I didn't realize that there's breast diseases that are actually that are worse
than breast cancer.
than having cancer.
Wow.
I think cancer's such a broad term now. You have to remember, you can meet someone that's stage 4 and they're healthier than you. Do you know what I mean? So it depends on like the type, then the grades, and then all the techie stuff that no one wants to really pay attention to. Yeah.
Because I do know a lady who's stage 4, and she has got a teenage son, and she knows that she's got this terminal illness, and you know anything could happen.
I bet she's thriving.
She lives life. When I say she's on a plane at least 3-4 times a year.
Yeah. Because why not?
Yeah. And she honestly, she will pick up her son, right, we're going on holiday, you know, oh, we're eating out here this weekend, we're doing this, we're going to Scotland, or we'd, you know, and she lives life. And I think it's just beautiful. I look at her outlook on everything, and I just think, if anything like that happened to me, I want to be like that.
But then also, I think should just be like that anyway, because one thing that I've learned from the journey, I just think, why did it take for me to go through this to then realise that that's how we should live life anyway?
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Because now, like, you live more for the moments and stuff, but I could have been doing that when my kids were little. I could have been doing that anytime. It shouldn't have taken for me to get ill for me to think I like my life, even though I knew I liked my life anyway. But I mean, like, when you're thinking about, like, your mortality, like, I love my life. I want to be here. I do not want to leave. Like, how can you tell me that I've got something that can make me, like, not be here? That's crazy. Do you know what I mean? And like you, I've lost my dad as well too, and it's not
to cancer as
yeah,
well.
but it's not it's not genetic in that sense. It's two completely different things, you know. But then, when you know that you've lost a parent as well, you've lost somebody, and you know people that have lost their lives to that disease, and then, like, now I have a lot of survivor's guilt. That's why I'm in therapy and everything now, because people always think, oh, you get through it and it's all nice and it's all pink and you're doing the awareness and you're here and there and it looks lovely and you're doing your solo travels. It's horrible. Do you know what I mean? Like, survivor's guilt is a thing. Like, I've met people that counselled me through my cancer that are not here now. Do you know what I mean? Because they've lost their battle, you know, and things like that. And then you do think, like, why have I survived? Or, like, even to be here today, why has God opened this door for me to do this? Like, why? Like, I'm still trying to understand, like, why I've got a chance. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's a hard thing to get your head around. Like, you're thankful, but you still think, oh, why? Like, compared to everyone else, like, why was my treatment not so bad? Like, my treatment didn't put me in hospital or didn't stop me from work. I didn't have to leave my job. It disrupted my house, but, you know, like, my daughter was at uni. She never had to come home to look after me. She never had to give up on her dreams. But then why us? Like, why were we? Like, I do feel like, why was I favoured? And it's a hard thing to get my head around. So then even when people say, oh, you're brave, you're strong, you're this, you're that, I just think if everyone else had their back against the wall, you'd do the same damn thing. Like,
Yeah.
would you not? Or you're gonna hide under a rock and make it get the better of you, you know?
Your
Like, you
journey
don't.
was like that because you were meant to do this. You were meant to speak out. You were meant to come and raise awareness
I
and
think
highlight
so, but then I
many
still
things.
think, like, even after this, I'll go home and be back in my pajamas, everything's pulled off, and I'm just going to be like, oh, I did that today. And then I just think, oh, but why did I get to do that today? You know what I mean? Like,
God's
it's a hard,
chosen you to do this, though.
it's a hard concept to get your head around, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot, because you just think, oh, well, why? Because it could have been anybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then also, I could have died too, so then why did I? Like, survivor's guilt is a thing. People don't
They don't talk about it.
people
though.
don't talk about that. They just say, oh, you got through it and you look good. Do you know what I mean? And then always, like, everything, especially with our culture, everything is visual. So you have to
Surface
show
level.
up. Like, if I come here today and I didn't have my wig on and I come in just like my sweats and whatever, is everyone going to be like, oh, look, she went through cancer. Oh, God, look at the state of her. She's still going through it. Because even that everything's visual, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? For us as a culture, like,
hear that.
you have to show up all the time. Like, so even within your culture, I found a safe space with Black Women's Rising where we can be vulnerable, but within my culture, we can't be vulnerable. We all still have to, even in our vulnerability, there's a certain way to show up.
Yeah, of
Even if you
course.
wanted to be vulnerable, you still have to show up in a certain way.
Yeah.
Especially if you was around your elders as well,
Oh, of course. I totally hear that.
you know.
Because through generations, we know how to act in front of the different generations in our culture.
Like, even for me, like, I had, like, you know, like, I got big aunties and stuff, and I know that when I first started doing, like, the awareness and stuff like that, no, people weren't happy.
Really?
No, because why you're talking out your
business.
sickness? You can't be talking out your sickness and your business like that. Make people see that you went through a bad time. Like,
But for me, I look at it as like,
but you have to.
I look at you and I admire the fact that you have got the strength and the willingness to share your journey, and it's to help people.
It's one of them ones where it's like, you go through it so that someone else don't have to. And I
Yes.
think then, even if you have to go through it, I like to know then that you're armoured up with enough knowledge. Like, do you know what I mean? If someone watches this and then while they're watching it, they're going like this and they feel something, when they finish watching it, they're going to go and make that appointment. They're not going
Yes,
to be
exactly.
scared. And I think for us, especially with Black Women's Rising and our charity, we highlight the lived experiences. Like, we're having more fun than everybody else. Do you know what I mean? Like, while going through
Yeah.
what we're going through. And I think then when people do see people like us, you don't see the adverts where people are down and out and it just looks like they're dying and they're knocking on death's door. Cancer's not necessarily
Like that
for
everybody.
everybody,
And
yeah.
it's not
So I
like that
think-
all the time
No,
either.
so I think people need to see the lived experience. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can thrive. Like, when I think about how my life was before, how can cancer be bad if it's opened up so many crazy doors in my life? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To all these different things, and even like with my work, my personal life, do you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So it can't be bad. And I do think sometimes God gives you things to make you sit still, and this was my sit still
Really?
thing for me to, like, reevaluate what I was doing in my life, what I was entertaining, who I want to be. Like, I've realised now through cancer that I'm 40 and I still don't know who I want to be when I grow up. Like, that's
Bless
crazy.
you.
Like, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
No, but there's a lot of people who start what they end up doing that makes them successful. They start that late in life as well.
But they
you
say
know?
life begins at 40. Is that what they're
That's what
saying,
they
isn't
say.
it? The
Yeah,
life
yeah,
begins
yeah,
at
life
40.
begins at 40.
See it there.
And I think when I turned 40, I was just about to turn 40. I had this great big epiphany. Like, I think I was 39 and I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, I need to do something different. And I just felt, and I remember I left my job that I'd been in for the past 13 years. And I just wanted to change everything in my life. And I don't know what it was. It was just that whole coming into that new chapter.
Life admin. Life admin, like a whole full revamp. And
Yeah, I wanted that revamp. I wanted everything changing. It was crazy. Came out of a relationship, and everything just had to change. I don't know what it was, but yeah, life does begin at 40. I would definitely say that I've had a complete mindset change since.
And happier experiences, I must say. Do you know what I mean?
I'm happy. I really am. But yeah, because we were talking about checking our boobies and things.
And we've got booby.
We need to make sure that we have some time with our friend over here. I feel like we need to give it a name.
Yeah, because I was going to say that we need to name her.
It's time to do the titty check, titty talk. I think we'll call this segment Titty Talk.
She's so cute.
She is cute. So yeah, we need to talk to her, and we need to
I had this
show
made
the
for me.
viewers.
I had this made for me by a wonderful lady, and her company is called plushies.co.uk.
Okay.
And it's nice because obviously she makes these, and she also does, for children that are poorly.
Yeah.
So she has, on her website, she has like lungs, intestines, hearts. So if anybody's like got poorly kids and stuff and they want to think, so yeah.
That's beautiful.
So she made this first. I asked for a brown one. So, because obviously to represent, it's been so hard. And that's the thing, like with cancer, it's so hard to get brown things for women. So especially like prosthetics,
Yes.
wigs, all that kind of stuff. It's so hard. Like you wouldn't believe. But this is our boob. And I'm going to show you how to check.
Yes, please do, because I think, like I said earlier, I check certain times of the month, but
Yeah.
there are times when
think-
I just sit there watching TV,
And
I'll
I think
just have my hand down.
and I think also people don't know how to check, so they always advise that you use 3 fingers.
Yeah.
And you do it in different depths. So you do it light first.
So these 3 fingers. So if you're right-handed,
Yeah. Obviously, if you're right-handed, you do right. There's 3
If
fingers.
you're left-handed,
Start from your collarbone, because people always believe that breast cancer is only in the breast, but it's anywhere where your lymph nodes could be. So your
Okay.
lymph nodes go up to your collarbone, also down into your armpits and down round by your rib cage.
Okay, so I'm going to follow the steps as you are explaining everything as well.
So obviously get in a comfortable position. They always say it's good to do it lying down, and then also standing up as well.
Okay.
With your arm up and then also with your arm down. And then another way that we're learning is to hunch forward, because when you hunch forward, you can feel round this part and your back part, because it also can be round here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about
See,
the back. Okay.
Everybody, it's always new. So 3 fingers. If you're starting from here, you'd start from your collarbone, circular motions all the way round.
Yeah.
Obviously, you do your armpit. Come round like this. Obviously, it's up to you how much pressure you put. Obviously, if you're on your period or due on, then I can imagine then too much pressure you're going to be tender.
Yeah.
But then obviously pressure around here. Then you'd look for your visual changes as well.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, do they both still look the same? Anything leaking? Any rashes? When I look in the mirror, when I do this and when I do this, do they look similar? Do they look like how they looked last month? Obviously, you're looking for any dimples, stitches, things like that. And then obviously down here and around there, same 3 fingers underneath. Yeah.
So underneath, as like
just
here?
underneath, like
Here.
your,
Oh, underneath. Okay.
yeah,
Right,
anywhere
underneath.
like to your thing. And obviously, when you do it and you put pressure, you should do it so you can feel like your little bony part, like your breastplate.
Yes.
Yeah. But obviously, don't hurt yourself doing it. Yeah.
Just put enough pressure to be able to notice any differences.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's good.
Okay. So what about changes in nipple as well then?
Dry, cracked nipples, leaking nipples. It doesn't matter if the fluid is clear, yellow, looks like milk, don't look like milk. Get it checked, especially if you're not nursing.
Yeah.
But even then, if you are nursing and you notice a difference. Because remember, women can get mastitis as well. Like I've had mastitis while I've been breastfeeding, and it's not nice. So even in terms of if you are a nursing mother and you do feel any differences, I know also your breasts are going to be lumpy anyway from feeding. And things like that. So it's just making sure that if anything feels not normal, tell your midwife, tell your health visitor and stuff.
That can be quite distressing and nerve-wracking for first-time mothers because it's the first time your body's going through these changes. So any lumps and bumps, you can't even compare it to your last pregnancy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas
or
with
the
my
last time you fed.
Yeah, whereas with my second child, I was a bit more aware of the differences in my boobs and things like that because I compared it to when I had my first one.
Yeah.
So first-time mums definitely.
But sometimes
take note
like
as well.
a lot of dryness, like like I always go by the guidance of Know Your Lemons.
Okay.
So I'll bring it up and I'll show you what their app looks like.
So Know Your Lemons,
It's a
you ambassador for them
Yeah,
as well,
I'm
don't you?
a global educator.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
Global educator for Know
Global
Your
edu-
Lemons, guys.
Yes.
So yeah, you can hit them up on Instagram.
Yeah, they are
are on
everywhere. And it's a
Instagram.
nice, colourful app, as you can see. It's lovely.
That's cute.
No, it is.
Did you want to show the camera?
Yeah.
There we go.
Just waiting for it to load up.
Up, please. Yes.
Know Your Lemons. Okay.
So then obviously you go and you select your language, where you live. So they're trying to get women from all over the world. So every time you do a breast check,
Yeah.
it goes onto here and then it will show how many women across the world have checked their boobs this month, which is really good. So then you can have your app, and obviously it guides you through health questions,
Oh,
and then it's
wonderful.
got breast education on there. So I recommend everybody to download and utilize this app. Like it's really, really good for people to
Amazing.
have. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you for that. And this is what I wanted for this episode, to be able to help people
Yeah.
and give people somewhere that they can go. for
Prevention's
more
always
information.
better. Like obviously if people encounter cancer or anything, obviously we've got our platform with Black Women's Rising and we have our
Yeah.
charity, but obviously this is for awareness. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not assuming that I'm going to be talking to anybody that has cancer at present, or unless they've got a concern. So
Yeah.
Know Your Lemons is the go-to app. And then obviously women that have teenagers, it's nice, it's colourful. If you can get your teenagers, you know what I mean, because I know they have like their period trackers and things like
Yeah.
that. So tie it in with that, with the girls, get them checking, get them to know what their feelings are while they're getting older and things like that. I think it does help massively, even though the rates are lower. It's just getting a lot more common in under 40s now. So like the youngest girl I met at chemo was 19. And that's
goodness.
just like they don't even know what they want
She's
for
a
dinner
baby.
at that age. Do you know
That's
what
a
I mean?
shame.
So
And she's having to deal with
and
all
at
of
that time my eldest child was 21 then, so that wasn't nice. Like
Scary for
and yeah, and it really like makes you think, oh my God, like the babies can,
Yeah.
not just me, the babies can get it. So you know, it's just being aware.
It
It's
is,
like it's
and I
just
think
scary.
It's
like
important as well for people to incorporate it in things like PSHE lessons in school and stuff like that.
those are the things we're campaigning for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are the things, because now it's getting too common, and we're getting younger and younger. Do you know what I mean? Like we're getting like I shouldn't, but then also it's a catch-22 because it shows the power of early detection and the research, which is I think such a big taboo in our community when it comes to research and things like that, and the science behind cancer. You know, because there's so much emotion, but nobody doesn't really know the science. So as much as it is more common, it's the power of early detection why it's more common. Like it's not rare, but it's not always found. That the cancer that it's not, because I was stage 1.
You're stage
but-
1. So
but-
let's talk about your
so
journey then.
Stages and grades.
How
it's
it
different.
happened, you know, how was your diagnosis? Talk to me about, you know, how it started, how you felt emotionally with it, and how you dealt with that in the beginning.
So initially I went to the GP because, you know, when you don't go for a long time and they say they're going to get rid of you, that's how I ended up. So I went to the GP because I hadn't been there for, I think it was like over a year or nearly a year. So I went to go and have the, you know, when you're coming up to 40, you have the 40-year-old medical
Check, yeah.
40-year-old check. So I knew anyway that I would have it earlier because I had a hysterectomy at 32. So I was 38 at the time. And my GP, like, done the medical thing, just fine with everything. And then, like, she's checked, obviously, like, round here. And then she's talking to me about breast checking, getting older. And then she said that this armpit felt a bit more swollen than that one, but not nothing that she was concerned about.
Okay.
And But she said, oh, I'm going to send you to the breast clinic so that you can get used to having mammograms, because I'd had my hysterectomy at 32.
Yeah.
Didn't have no smears. So she was saying
Okay,
that she
yeah.
felt uncomfortable at the fact that I haven't had no smears from 32. I'm 38 now. And then she's like, breast screening doesn't start until you're 50. So you're going to have
50's
like...
too late.
So you're going to have like how many years? Like 15 years, I think,
Yeah,
of no kind of
screening.
screening for nothing, not for nothing, you know. So she's just going, don't sit right with me. I'm sending you over there.
Yeah.
And went over there. First had an ultrasound before, went down the 2-week pathway. So when they send you to the breast clinic, it's the 2-week pathway from the GP. So I think within 4 or 5 days, I'd had my appointment for the breast clinic. So the turnover was actually quite good. It wasn't a long wait. So I can imagine for women that are scared when they do find something, like that waiting game, that's what we hear, that waiting game there, that's the hard part.
A couple of weeks can feel like a year.
But because obviously they weren't concerned and they didn't express any concern, I never had that. It was just waiting for the appointment. So went for that, had an ultrasound. They'd found a carcinoma. They measured it. It was about just under 2 centimetres.
Sorry, what was it you called that?
Carcinoma.
Carcinoma.
Okay.
So Could you explain to people what that is,
lump.
please?
So basically,
The lump,
AKA the lump.
The lump, okay.
The lump. This is the professional term for the lump. So they take their measurements and all the rest of it. How it presented, it was round and smooth. So it looked more like a cyst.
Okay.
So when women have breast cancer, sometimes breast cancer lumps can present as like, under the microscope, as like a splat, like a puddle.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be like cysts and things like that, milk ducts, round and smooth, no dents, no nothing. So they didn't assume it to be breast cancer. They thought it could potentially be a DCIS, which is ductal something carcinoma in situ, which is like, could be breast cancer, or very, very, very early stage. So I had to go and have a mammogram. So I had the mammogram in the machine, and then obviously they took the measurements from that. With the mammogram, I think they saw like 1 and 2 things that they had a little bit of a concern about. So then the mammogram turned into we're doing a biopsy. But then my consultant, she was amazing. She was just like, I'm doing a biopsy. She said, because you've had a hysterectomy at 32 and for your age group, you've been through a lot. So we're not going to have you here as a pincushion.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it on file. And because she said of how it presented, compared to what cancer looks like under the scans, she was saying, no, we'll leave it on file. So if it grows or if your breast causes you pain or anything like that, you can just ring us up without going through the 2-week pathway.
Yeah.
And then we'll get you back in. We'll get it looked at. We'll look further into it. And obviously she had to ring me. She wasn't happy. She had to ring me to call me in. And the biopsy results came back as triple negative breast cancer. So out of all of the breast cancers, triple negative is like one of the not the best ones to have.
Really?
So
okay.
It's got like a high reoccurrence rate. So there's no point in like saying, oh, your cancer will never come. The chances are it might.
Okay.
So you have to be realistic.
Yeah.
We have to be realistic. Yeah. So obviously survival rates are lower than anybody else, and then treatment is more limited. So like I had chemotherapy and immunotherapy. But then, like how some people have like hormone tablets, things like that, can have hormone injections. I can't have none of those because of the type of breast cancer that I had. Yeah. So it's so complicated because it's identifying the type, and then once they identify the type, then it narrows down your treatment options into which route you can go down with your treatment. So then that's why you'll see some women have radiotherapy first. And obviously women that are younger, if their cancer is found relatively early, then they have opportunities to harvest the eggs and things like that. And, because obviously treatment can can mess with your
Affect your fertility.
But then there's also drugs that protect your ovaries and things like that while you go through treatment as well. But then
Brilliant.
it also boils down to what type
of cancer that
yeah,
you've
which
got.
type it is.
It's so complex, isn't
So
it?
complicated, but so interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
And
think for
you've
me,
learnt a lot. I've learnt loads just by sitting
I
here
think
talking
for me,
to you.
I think if I didn't make an education out of it and teach myself, I think the best way for you to make yourself better in anything is to have full power over it, and that's by educating yourself on the matter.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I had two ways to go. Like obviously, it's been emotional, and I'll never deny that it's not been roses. It's been absolutely horrendous. Treatment was horrendous. I lost my hair. I was on crutches. Do you know what I mean? So I ended up having neuropathy. I've got Addison's disease now.
Sorry,
Do you know
can
what
you
I mean?
explain
So-
what Addison's disease is?
So
please?
that's like adrenal fatigue. So my body doesn't make cortisol anymore.
Okay.
So I have to take steroids for the rest of my life now, which will help my body to produce cortisol. So that's just like a post-cancer. Like everybody leaves cancer with something. You know, some people have heart disease, things like that because of the treatment. You have to remember treatment's going to kill one thing but do something
something
to
else.
something else, isn't
And
it?
it takes its toll on your body as well
Yeah.
throughout the process, but then there's after effects that people don't realise.
And people don't realise also, like, even for immunotherapy, I can still experience side effects. Is it up to like 2-3 years afterwards? And I only finished my immunotherapy in December. So I'm only like not even a full year treatment free. But I think I'm about 18 months cancer free.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
Probably
that's
just
good.
toast to that
Yeah,
with our pink lemonade. Let's
Ching.
just toast to that.
thank you.
No,
Well,
it's
it's
good to hear.
wild.
You are cancer free. And how are you finding life now? I wanted to touch on work because I know we had a conversation about this before, just a brief conversation. I says, I feel like we need to talk about this on camera because it's really, really difficult going back to work after, you know, everything you've been through. How are they with it? Time off, understanding, that kind of thing. Give us a brief because, you know, it's I can imagine it would have been difficult for you emotionally, physically, everything.
In the beginning, absolutely fantastic. I
Yeah.
must say, like, the company who I work for, my managers, everybody, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. They actually supported me with like critical care insurance, all these different things,
excellent.
all the employee benefits and things like that. So to be in work while I was going through it was fantastic. So I'm kind of glad that I was able to stay well
Yeah.
through treatment to keep my head above water. Now, I think there's a lot more issues now. I think people assume because you look well and you're better, then every day you're better. So there's some days I cannot perform to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
I get a lot more fatigue, a lot more tiredness, up and down emotions and things like that as well.
Okay,
Talk
so
about
yeah,
work.
we're talking about work, and you were saying that, you know, there's policies in place where you work for menopause, which is absolutely fantastic because that's another thing that just affects so many. Well, it affects every
and
woman
it's
at
something
some
that
point.
I've come out with because of
But
cancer treatment as well. Because
really?
obviously cancer treatment pushes you into menopause.
into menopause earlier than you normally would have. See, I feel like I'm perimenopausal now. I feel like I'm starting to get there at 43.
Yeah.
And I'm scared, but I'm trying to do what I can.
It's hard
to,
work. It's hard work. It's hard out here.
Yeah. No, the policies are important. You know, workplaces do need to recognise that us women go through stuff.
I think
you
they're
know?
getting better, but I think like at the moment for me, I'm having experiences where obviously I've got appointments. Like it's like another thing that people find hard to understand is like the remission concept. So people always assume that as soon as like they tell you you're cancer free or they see someone ring a bell, then that's it. It's not that. It's still appointments. You know, I've got an appointment tomorrow. It's appointments all the time. So at the moment, like my oncologist says, I'm not in remission. It's called NED, which is no evidence of disease.
Okay.
So I'll be under oncology for the next X amount of years. whereby every year I'd be checked and then it's no evidence of disease, no evidence of disease.
Yeah.
Once you get past 5 years, that's when they will say you're in like proper remission, kind of,
Yeah.
because from what I've gathered, and I might be wrong, but from what I've gathered and what I've learned, remission is where by, say like if I then was to find a lump or have something that made me query that I may have cancer again, I would have to go down the same route that you would go down. So I'd go back to the 2-week pathway. That's when you get to remission, because that's when your life's back to normal.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I
now,
see.
for the next 5 years now, if I cough too hard and I don't like it, I'm back to
You're back
oncology.
there.
Without, you know what I mean? Without
That's
having
good.
to
So you've
worry
got
about
that
the
consistent
waiting.
monitoring then,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But then it's so, I miss it. So I miss chemo and things like that, and I'll tell you why. So obviously you'd have your bloods done every single week. So then even if the following week I ate bad, I didn't do well, my bloods would do the talking. And it's so interesting to see your bloods on like a week-to-week basis to see what's good for you and what's not good for you and stuff. So then obviously when everything is good and it's all over, because it's been so intense for all them months, and then it's like, okay, we'll see you next month. And it's like, nah, like, I need my weekly bloods. Like, how am I going to know that I'm not dying? Like, you're not going to... And I remember I was, like, really carrying on really bad with them. Like, I was like, I'm going to die. You're going to kill me. Like, they're like, it's a sign that you're getting better. I was like, no, I'm going to die. Like, I need to...
You needed that confirmation for
because
yourself.
you need it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then it gets so intense, and then I suppose it's a community, isn't it, of people where you're sick, so you meet people at chemo, the nurses, the staff, so you get used to being like that, and then you feel like afterwards, like while you're going through it, all you think is leave me alone. Stop phoning me. Stop telling me to come in. I don't want to go in. I don't want to go. But then as soon as it stops and they'll go, you wanted this. And then I'm like, no. Like, how are you hanging me out to dry? Like, why are you just like hanging me out there? Like, you can't leave me. So I have like a really good relationship with my team. And I think it's good to highlight that, because I know for Black people, especially in the health space, we are not always favoured. We're not treated right. We're not listened to, and we're not heard. And I just want to say that there are people out there that will hear us. It's just, you have to be forthright. And I know that not everybody has that confidence, but this is why we do the things that we're doing, because we want to pour into our communities so that when it is time, or if they ever, you don't want no one to ever have the experience, but if they did, they would know the right questions to ask, to signpost themselves, or even if it's to then approach us to get support to help.
So I've always looked at you on social media and thought, oh my God, I absolutely admire everything that you're doing to turn your challenging journey from having breast cancer into something positive. Now, you always seem very upbeat and wanting to, go into different things. You're ambassador for your Black Women's Rising and your Know Your Lemons as well. So yeah, if you could let us know if there's anything else that you've done that you're really proud of, that has helped raise awareness for breast cancer. I did see you with your Primark campaign, so could you let everybody know about that, please?
So to be fair, I did another campaign first, which led to my Primark campaign.
Okay.
And initially, just as after I had my my double mastectomy, I connected with a charity called Little Lifts, and they're based in Norwich. And they do boxes for women that are going through cancer. So they give you like surgery boxes, so you can get like little bits, like a care box and little bits and or loads of lovely stuff.
That's
so
sweet.
somebody had connected with them to give me a box. And then I connected with that charity, started talking to them, and they invited me down to do a fashion show with John Lewis. So I did a fashion show with John Lewis, Ted Baker, and with Little Lifts. So that was really,
Big
really
names,
good. So that was really nice. Like, and it was interesting to go to Norwich. Never been there before in my life. So the middle of nowhere, but it's lovely.
I've always heard of Norwich. I've driven past it or whatever. Never been.
Yeah, it's like 4.5 hours away from here. Like, it was really good. But another campaign that I did obviously was Primark. So a few of us had got invited for Breast Cancer Awareness Month last year
Yeah.
to do a shoot with Primark in Manchester, which was amazing.
When I
It was,
saw you promoting that, I was
it
like,
was
nah, that is
it was
wicked.
nice. I think it was nice for us as well, because obviously going through what you go through and then body image and things like that, like it really helped my confidence. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it really, really did. And I think it's still up on the website as well, because post surgery bars.
Yeah.
So I think it's still up there, and obviously working with Black Women's Rising, it's just opened doors. Obviously, we've done some lovely things in terms of being a member of the charity. So
Yeah.
in terms of things like for me and my healing and my journey, obviously they do everything for me. But then from the ambassador perspective, it's really like helped to open doors to different things. And it's been really strange but nice to go into all these different spaces and
Connecting with new people as
connecting
well.
with all these like new people. Like last week I was at Oxford Uni at a conference where it was talking about vaccinations that they could probably create for cancer for people like with like predisposed like genetically to cancer. And it even little things like doing that, like that focus group was mainly for researchers and scientists wanting to know what the ethnic perspective is on vaccines. And obviously we have a big perspective.
We do.
And we have a lot of things to say on
Yeah.
vaccines and vaccinations and things like that. So
Nobody give you picnic this. Nobody, do you know what
so
I mean?
it was really nice to be in that room and then literally break it down. And what was good for that experience, it was two of the researchers and scientists were people like us. So it was nice then to see
see.
people like us that could then break it down and put it in a way that we can understand, that we can relay that back to our communities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're at a stage now where in healthcare especially, we all want to be heard and we want to be seen. But then when there's groups and projects and things where we're supposed to have a voice in order to help them make things better for us,
yeah.
we're not stepping forward. So, you know, especially when you think about different things, maternity things, like different things like that. But then when you go to the patient groups and things like that, there's only one Black person, one Asian person, but we want all this stuff. So it's all about letting people know that when it comes to things like research, like we really need people to be putting themselves forward.
Yeah.
No one's not taking your bloods and your bones and your hair. Some of them just want to have a chat and just know where the community stands on certain
We've got to share our
things.
voices.
Yeah,
It's really important to share our
100%.
voices. And speaking on sharing our voices, sorry, I'm just going to reach for this book, the Black Women Rising book.
Yeah.
Yes, Black Women Rising. Now, this is something that you shared with me as we sat down before the camera started rolling. Now, this, I think, is so special. It's such a powerful book.
Very personal.
Very personal
stories.
and very, very powerful. So this is all personal stories. And these are some of the women who are your friends as well, aren't they?
Yeah, some women I've met and things
So-
like that. So it's been amazing.
And this is all women of colour. So really, really powerful. Can you let people know where they can get this?
Yeah, this is available. I think it's available on our website as well, but it's 100 stories of women. I think it's available blackwomenrisinguk.org. I think they're sold out,
Are they?
but I think they'll be back.
Okay.
But it's really powerful, and I think obviously the main focus is highlighting women's stories that have been through these things, and I think it's just really brave and powerful that they want to put themselves in that publication, because it's a, like I was saying to you, ambassador fatigue. It's a big thing to want to share an image of your body after scars, just to help somebody else hopefully not go through the same thing. And our charity is amazing. Like, they've literally saved my life. I would do anything and everything for them. Like, our founder Leanne, she's just amazing. She got a Pride of Britain award the other day, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. And I think we're just getting to a stage, you know, like how we have breast cancer now, you've got Macmillan and all those different places, but we need to be at a stage where, like, you know, even if cancer doesn't darken your door, just like how you can say you know who Macmillan is do you know who Black
Black
Women
Women
Rising
Rising
is?
are, so you
Yes,
want to
we
get it to
do.
that level.
Honestly, like
No.
we need to be household.
Yeah, because
Fully
they're focusing on
household.
black women, and obviously as a black woman yourself and going through it, then you know how important it is. So, and like you said earlier, you know, we're girl mums.
Yeah.
We got to teach the youth.
I think
you
the
know.
only thing that's sad is obviously with support, like I've had to travel for this. There isn't nothing up here for my age group.
So
There
are they London based?
They're London based.
Okay.
And I think that's the downside. Like for me, it's amazing because it gives me opportunities. And then even when I'm not feeling myself, I can say, you know what, my challenge this month is to make sure I stay well because we've got this event on and I'm reaching.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I get
But
it
then,
now because I remember when we had a conversation a while back and you were saying that you were in London a lot.
Yeah.
Now I understand why.
Yeah.
Because that's where they're situated and, you know, because you do so much amazing work for them, then obviously you need to be at the events and things like that.
And even just to go to the events for myself, it's not just for ambassador work, for my support and for my healing. Like I go where they are. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's been good but difficult. But now it's making me think more along the lines of like we need more things in the Midlands because
Yeah.
there's a lot of women that are my age group in the Midlands that there's nowhere for them to go. There are one and two things, but I've been to a few and it's older women and things
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
And even if it is a good mixed bunch, it's older women. So for me, I like being in there because it's amazing then to see older women that are like 10, 15 years post-cancer. Obviously, they're my heroes. Like that is who I'm aspiring to be, like to stay
Yeah.
alive and even after having this. But then also when I want to talk about the things that bother me or the normal day-to-day things, like you'll go to those meetings and then women will be talking about their daughters, but the daughters that they're talking about is my age. So then
Yeah.
I feel strange, do you know what I
hear
mean?
that.
So there isn't enough places like for our age group and for women of colour in the Midlands. So
It's
hopefully
something
that will
develop,
change.
yeah.
It will change.
It will.
Yeah.
But it's things like this that will start that. There may be somebody watching this pod. We hope that, you know, will connect with you and be like, you know
Honestly,
what,
come find me.
I've been through the same thing. Let's connect. Let's get a little group going. And then these things can develop.
Yeah,
So-
because even then, like, to get into groups where there's black women, we can teach you know what I mean, like do demos, get
Yeah.
women looking at themselves, checking themselves, and also communicating because there's so many stigma and taboos and we need to squash them because it's getting to the stage of like, I think a lot of people will think, oh, it's breast cancer awareness, but because it's so far from their lives, they don't think that it will apply to them.
Yeah.
But I'm the first female in my family to have
Had it.
have cancer. Do you know what I mean? Let alone breast cancer. I've got, my nan died recently. She was 100. Do you know what I mean? I've got
sorry to hear
a load of aunties. No one's never had a scare. So, but then it's happened to me. So it can happen. You know what I mean? And then, and also, you know, women that are, they're genetically disposed to it and things like that with having the gene and things like that. So even I've found out that I've got BRCA gene, so then that could potentially impact on my children.
Can
Do you
I
know what I mean?
just
So
ask you about that? Because
Yeah.
I know we've had a personal conversation about the gene before. Don't know if you remember, it was a
Yeah.
while back. And I mentioned earlier on when we were talking about family and things, and I mentioned about my dad passing away young from cancer. Now, myself and my brothers, it was something that was told to us that we had to go and get tested for this gene.
genetic testing.
Now, my dad passed away at 47. He found out he had cancer 2 weeks before he passed.
Oh God.
So it was very
All
late.
systems go.
He was doing everything normally, going to work, etc., etc., and didn't really see a change in anything. So he was battling it without knowing, if that makes sense. But we were told that we had to be tested for this gene at 35. I turned 35. Now, my dad passed away when I was 19. I'd just turned 19. So the years went on and on and on. I thought, 35 is ages away.
Yeah.
Age crept up on me like... And I got to 35 and I thought, no, actually don't want to be
it.
tested for
Doesn't have
this.
to be.
At the end of the day, like,
It's a
my thing
personal
is...
choice.
Yeah, my thing is... if I know that I've got that gene in my head,
Do you think it would just ruin your
yeah,
whole...
in my head,
Everybody's
because I'm an
different.
emotional person,
Yeah.
and in my head, I just thought I'm not going to be able to cope with that. So for me, I was just not ready. And even now, well, I'm 43, so that's 8 years on. I'm still not ready.
And if you're not ready, you ain't ready.
I don't want to know.
Everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? And I think it can go two ways. If, like how you said, you know yourself, so you know how, if you never had the answer that you wanted, you know how, you know who
It
you
would
are.
impact me
And
in
it
a
would-
way that I don't think would be positive.
Yeah.
For myself or my kids.
Do you know
and
what
I'm
I
not
mean?
going to force my kids to. I mean, they know that their granddad, they never got to meet him.
But they have an awareness.
But they have an awareness of how he died and, you know, what he had. But I've never made it clear to them that I need them to go and get tested or I'm leaving it out.
Yeah, it's a personal choice, and I think it can go two ways. Like for me, like when I'd explained it to my children about whether they want to do it or not, because obviously they can do it when they want to.
Yeah.
And I've said to them it's two ways. Like for me personally, if I had a family member that went through something like that and then I had that opportunity, because I'm nosy as well, it don't matter, I would want to think, because I do think the power of insight is helpful in the sense that I wouldn't know how I'd behave, do you know what I mean, in terms of emotionally, but I'd like to think that I'd take the information, you know, like with insight and set up things practically for myself just in case. But then also I've met people that have done that and then they do get so consumed it ruins their life. Do you know what I mean? So it's literally it's a catch-22. It's a personal choice. I wouldn't make nobody force anyone to go and do it. But also, if you was to meet someone, like there's people who have family members where all the family members have had cancer, but there's no gene.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So then if you was to sit down with those families, they'd probably shake you and go, you need to do... But it depends on your circumstances.
Yeah.
And then I suppose then with your dad passing away, because there was nothing, it's not like he went through a journey. So if he went through a journey where the information was there, the conversations were there and things like that, do you know what I mean? Even then, you could have sat down with your dad. If he had a cancer journey before you found out, he could have probably said to you, you know what, there's a test. I would like it if you guys would do that for, you know what I mean?
We didn't
If
even get that chance.
you didn't
to
get
have
the chance,
these
do you know what I mean? So
conversations. We didn't.
and I think that's what happened, and this is why we campaign, because black people in our community, when they are getting cancer, they're finding it at later stages. So these conversations can't be had because we're planning a funeral.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
So I'd say
we
it's a
plan that.
personal choice. Like even for me in the position, I mean, I'd never say, oh, go and do it. You've got the opportunity. No, it's your personal choice. And if you know it's going to impact on your emotions and how you're going to then view the world with that information, don't do it.
Thank you. Thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Don't
because
do it.
I
But then
do
also on the flip side, someone's going to say that I'm wrong and going to say I should have told you
everyone's
to. But
got their opinion. But
it's
you've
honestly,
been
it's
through
a
it, so
personal choice.
I welcome your advice because you've been through it. But yeah, I just know how I am as a person. You know, I could speak to my brothers and they might feel differently. I don't know. But
and also as a family, even if it's something that you do or continuously talk about, if somebody then in the family does want to, make sure you support them as well, because I do think also it can cause so much conflicts with knowing that there's a gene in the family, and
Nobody
especially
talks
especially in some like black families, they just pretend it's not. It's
Nobody
easier to
talks about
pretend
it.
that it's not there, but then when someone gets sick, then we're all panicking, you know what I mean? So it should be a healthy conversation anyway, regardless of decisions that are made stemming from the conversation. So still keep it it should be a healthy family conversation to have, you know, because you have to think about your children and things like that as well,
we've
and
all
your
got
grandchildren.
Kids. Me and
you
my
know
brothers
what I mean?
have all
So
got children.
yeah.
So it is important. It's not something that we speak about as a family, but I do believe that we do have to think about sitting down and discussing that soon.
Even if no one does it, there should be like a contingency plan in case anybody finds out, if anything. Like if we ever found out something, what are we going to do as a family? Like how are we going to navigate this? And I think people like it for practicality, just for planning, and obviously if it's a breast cancer gene, like, you know, for women it is they do advise you to, you know, if you know about it, because then I suppose then if you know you've got it in your family, women can go and have the surgery to remove their breasts and things like that before anything even happens to lower their risk. But then it depends, because I've got BRCA2 gene, but then there's BRCA1, BRCA2, and I'm still learning about the whole genetic side of things now in terms of like what's more important than the other one and things like that. So I can't really divulge too much into that because I'm learning myself.
And I feel like I've just learned so much just through sitting with you
Oh,
today. Honestly,
and I just think I
have
just waffle
learnt
on and chat a load
loads.
of rubbish.
Honestly, I've learnt loads, and I feel like this conversation has just been so insightful for me. And I hope that it's done the same for all the viewers
And it's literally only
listeners as
touching
well.
on the surface, because it's
Well,
still like
yeah.
it's so in depth, and there's just so many hats in this space. It's just
We are going to have to do a part 2.
Yeah.
We are. Or a part 3 or a part 4, because there's things that I want to touch on that I think we could really go deep into.
And if people have questions and things to hand in them for the next one, then that would be really good,
please.
because
So drop it in the comments.
that would be
and
really
let us
helpful.
know
What you want to know.
what you want to know and what you want to hear. You know, Tamara can go away and do some more research. Even I can.
Honestly.
You know, and then we can come back, do another segment, and then we can start touching on some of the things that you want to hear.
because I want to make sure like I'm factually correct. So that's why I don't throw out the percentages and things like that, because I feel like also it's good to highlight those, but at the same time, I feel like as people, we are our own stats. For me, especially for me, having triple negative, if I sat there and looked at the stats, I wouldn't come out my house, and I'd just be waiting for it to come back.
Yeah.
Because the reoccurrence rate for me, it's like from like 80% or something like that. Like it's quite high.
80%?
Can be.
Oh,
So,
my
you know
goodness
what I mean?
me.
So,
I
you
don't know
know,
how you've done it. I would be.
get on with it, ain't it? So,
Oh.
because then also, why am I going to waste time if I know that it's something that could actually come back? And then at least then if it was to come back, at least all of these things, I've got banked memories for
Yeah.
if I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, you know. You have to be realistic, you know. I'm not going to sit there and go, it's never going to darken my door again. I'd rather kind of think in the back of my head, it might come back so I know what to do if it did, than me to live my life oblivious thinking, oh, I've got over this and it's gone now. And then if it came back again, it's just going to slap me in my face and I'm not going to know how to navigate it because I've got past it. And it's just navigating this new normal. This is, I think they say you're cancer free, but you're never cancer free, are you? That's
well,
what
you're
I'm
never going to
learning.
be cancer free up here.
That's what I'm learning.
That's it.
That's what I'm learning, and therapy helps that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of trauma, you know. And I do think, like, for my little body, I've been through a lot.
You have,
know,
because
like,
you said you had a hysterectomy at 32.
yes,
I
I've
mean,
already
that is
like trying to
young.
navigate not being a mum again and things like that. And then I thought nothing will be worse than that. And then
this happened.
and I think that's probably why I dealt with it so well, because for me, everyone's different, but for me, not being able to have kids again griped me more than this.
Okay.
Because with this, you can fight it. Cancer, you can fight. Even if I fought and lost, I'd put up a good fight.
Yeah.
I fought and won now. You know what I mean? But then when it comes to things like my hysterectomy, my womb, I'm not going to get a new one.
yeah,
It's
you
not
can't
going to get
control
replaced. And I can't control all the emotions that come from that. So even then, I still see that as a worse situation than this one. This one keeps me active.
I hear that.
And this one's got me into this one's helped me make new friends. Like, it's been strange, like
There've
a
been so
bittersweet.
many positive things come out of this
I can't
experience
think
for
of
you.
the only thing I could say is bad is that one of the treatments weren't that good and it tapped me out a little bit, but apart from that, even in those moments, it's still been good.
And you're here to tell the tale.
No,
and
honestly, it's amazing.
so grateful
Thank
that we've
you.
actually connected, because, like I said before,
It's long overdue.
We've been talking for a minute. We really have. And, you know, there's been times when I've thought, oh no, she needs to come on. And then I've seen you progressing with different things that you're doing on social media. And I'm just like, no, she's doing really well. She's got so much to share when she finally
even in
comes on the
between
pod.
that, I've been, like, I showed the reality. I've
You
been
have,
sick.
you've been
I've been
in
in hospital.
hospital,
and I've
yeah.
come out of hospital 3-4 weeks ago. So you know what I mean. So it also has its up and peaks
Highs and
and
lows,
highs and like with anything, isn't it?
Of course.
Like with anything, but you know what? When it's the highs, I have to make sure that they are relevant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But we want you to stay on that level now. so that you can continue to do great work and raise awareness for this topic, because, you know, it could affect anybody at any point. Men,
honestly,
women, children. It
young
can affect
girls.
anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't
So,
it does not
discriminate.
discriminate. And I just think, even if you look at it and you roll your eyes and think it don't apply to me, make sure when you're rolling your eyes, you're doing this while you're saying it don't apply to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And make sure you tell someone to tell someone. If you've got teenagers, tell them from now. Like I said, we want to get to a stage where, you know, when you're looking at the national statistics, for us in our community, compared to white women, we're not checking ourselves enough. It's not recorded that we're checking ourselves, but then we're coming through with the worst ones. But why are we not? You know what I mean? We all love a low cut top in our culture. Check your titty then when you're putting on the top. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard, and you don't understand how much it can save your life. You know, and even like I was saying to you, for the type of breast cancer that I had, I got diagnosed August 2023. We're now coming to the back end of 2025. Now, with the type of breast cancer that I had, I could still be here, sitting here, talking to you now about a different topic, and not know that I've got that in my body.
There you go.
And for me, that's like a massive, can I swear?
Yeah.
It's a head fuck. Do you know what I mean? And for me, sometimes I'll wake up some days and I'll just think, my God, like, I actually could have still had this and it could have been taking over my body. Like, my GP saved my life because she just done that on a whim.
Yeah.
Because even then, I would have had to have waited to feel a lump myself to query it. And how
by
late?
then, you don't know
How
what could
late
be
would that have
developing.
been? How late would that have been? Honestly, you know. So you have to just give God thanks for small mercies and little serendipities and the way things happen.
Yeah,
It's never
because-
conventional, but things happen for a reason, and something will always manifest itself in the end.
Of
That's
course.
what I
The way
think.
you found
yeah.
out was different to other people. So, like you said, give God thanks.
And that's why I do the things that I do, because, you know, the usual chatter is, I found a lump, I did this. Or I found a lump, I've tried to fight for the GP. The GP's telling me there's nothing wrong
there.
and I'm fine. And then I found this. But for me, I never found a lump. I never had a bad conversation. I don't have to fight for my healthcare. I'm quite lucky with things like that. And it still happened to me, so...
No, but you're here to tell the tale, and you've done really well. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Just keep up with the good work, honestly.
will.
You have to. Because we need people like you out here with lived experience and speaking your truth and still raising awareness.
And anybody
for
can be
everybody.
a breast educator, do you know what I mean? So as much... And like a lady was saying the other day, why is it taking for us who have had cancer to shout out and tell you to check your boobs? Like, we need allies, you know what I mean? And that's what we're looking for. We need allies. We need women that are going to be going into their schools, their nurseries, their health visitors, going to places and saying, I know this, I know, have you heard of this charity? Even if it's not applying to you, like, word of mouth in our community is the most powerful thing, because we're black and we love to chat.
Yes.
So chat
use
the right
things,
you know what I
and
mean?
use your voice for some good.
Honestly.
You know? So with that being said, can you let everybody know where to find your charities that you ambassador for, please?
Yes. So our charity is called Black Women's Rising. Can you see? And other charities, I did write them down. Little notepad. So other charities, obviously, women can utilise is Know Your Lemons. So Know Your Lemons is the go-to app for reporting your breast checks every month, getting reminders to check your breasts. And then there's also like education things on there, so you can do like little quizzes and stuff. So even then test your knowledge, learn stuff as well. So it's not just check your boobs and hand it over. There's other things within the app that can really help women and young women. Obviously, for people that are experiencing cancer, friends, family, you've got Breast Cancer Now. Another charity that I love so much is Copperfield. They're mainly for for younger ladies. So it was founded by younger ladies as well. So the focus is for like women that are mainly under 30 and stuff like that, but they're amazing. They're up and down the country just like us, doing loads and loads
Brilliant.
of work.
And these are places I'd not heard of.
Yeah.
So I'm learning a lot as well, and I will be going
And
to
obviously
check
you
these
have
out.
the usual ones, Breast Cancer UK,
Yep.
Cancer Research
Yep.
UK, so that's for the science, for the facts. They do have segments on Cancer Research UK and Macmillan where there's segments for us. So
Okay, brilliant.
it talks about for ethnic people how they're doing things differently, and also a lot of them talk about things that they're trying to change as well. So
Okay.
they're trying in the space. So I think we're getting
somewhere.
noticed. Do you know
That's
what I
what we
mean?
want, isn't
We
it?
don't know if there's massive changes, but we're doing something. Like, we're so underrepresented and things like that. So it's nice to know that voices are starting to be heard now.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to be heard, yeah. But that's my go-to ones anyway. And obviously there's
Excellent.
loads of little community things like for us in the Midlands. I've did do some work with West Midlands Cancer Alliance.
Okay.
They're across like the 14 trusts across Sandwell and all around that way. So I've done some work with them. They're amazing as well.
Yeah.
They're really trying to like do things in the space for ethnic people so that more
Excellent.
people can come forward. So they're trying to make it, you know what I mean, like more diverse, and they are trying, you know, they're trying. So, and that's all we
And that's
can
what
do.
we want, yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you came today and shared all of
Oh,
this
thank you for
wonderful
having me.
information. Honestly, it's been fantastic. It's
for
been a
having me.
very, very informative conversation, and we want more conversations like this. But Tamara will be back.
Definitely.
She's not
There's
escaping. She will be back.
Too much content because we
There
never
is,
even really
there is.
touched on everything that we wanted to
I know,
touch on. You
I
just
know.
stray off into something else, and then it opens another door to another conversation.
This
so
is exactly it. But
Thank
no,
you.
I'm really appreciative that you could come and share everything. So please, ladies, 3 fingers, check, check, check. Go onto any of the websites, and we need to give her a name. By the time you come back next time, we need to make sure we've got her
any
a
names
name.
to suggest for her, please? And it is a she.
Yeah.
Any names
Drop
for
her in
her?
the comments,
We'll
please.
appreciate. Ma.
I think it needs to be given with T. Tanisha Titi or something like that.
Tatisha.
I don't know.
Tatisha.
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 Tatisha the Titi.
If anyone has a better name, we need a name. We need a name for her. I'm going to get a second one as well because she needs a buddy.
She needs a buddy.
She
yeah,
does.
of course. I love that. But yes, guys, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Talks with Ruby. I am your host, Soph. This is my guest, Tamara. She will be back. And I would like to let you know that it's really important that you like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But please, because of the topic that we've been speaking about today, I think it is really important that you do share it with other ladies who you think might find this interesting. And I think all ladies should really be listening to this conversation. And men as well. But yeah, we'll be back to touch up on more. Any comments that you've got, please drop it in the comments. And you can find me on Instagram, talkswith_Ruby. On TikTok, Talks with Ruby, all one word. All right. And Tamara, would you like to give your socials as well?
Yeah, so my socials are Mara Rochelle, Mara_Rochelle, ROCHELLE. On TikTok, I think on TikTok my name is Mara's Melts because I do candles, but I'm not really doing them at the moment.
No, but she made me one now. Look.
Yeah.
She came and she bought me a gift. Look. And this is honey and oats. And it smells absolutely divine. And look, it's in a coconut shop. Listen, I can't wait to get home and bun this, you know. I don't smoke, so this is the only thing I'm bunning in my yard. Yeah? So, yeah, I can't wait because it smells divine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for my
But
gift.
yeah, any questions, anyone that wants to connect, anyone that wants to know more about what we do, more about our charities, or just signposting,
Yeah.
questions, no weird ones, no fetishes.
No.
But anything that's informative or any spaces like we want to do, like I want to do more things next year where I can take her out and
Yeah.
do some demos in front of people and just get women talking about it and getting women checking. So anything that helps us to do that in that space, we're open
Be
to as well.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Lovely.